Hi, Peter here. Happy Earth Day. I wanted to read to you on this Earth Day one of my favorite books by one of my favorite authors, Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss wrote this book, The Lorax, all about a strange little man who really wanted to save the trees. It's a wonderful story on this beautiful Earth Day.
At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows and no birds ever sing excepting old crows is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass some people say if you look deep enough you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as he could until somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows. The old Onceler still lives there. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He hides in his lurkin on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkin, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffered moof. And in certain dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps, if you're willing to pay. At the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents, and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to make sure that you've paid him proper amount. And he hides what you paid him inside of his snub, his secret strange hole in the gruvyless grove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper-my-phone, for the secrets I have are for your ears alone. Schlup! Down schlups the whisper-my-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, because it has to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds like he has smallish bees up his nose. I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Back in the day when the grass was still green, when the pond was still wet, when the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swami swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the Truffula Trees, the bright-colored tufts of the Truffula Trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees, I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while swimming around. But those trees, those Truffula Trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they have the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what to do. I unloaded my cart. And in no time at all, I had built a small shop, and I chopped down a Truffula tree with one chop. Then with great skillful skill and great speedy speed, I took that small tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gazumph, and I looked and I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? It's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and brownish and oldish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze. I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees because the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of your lungs, what's that thing that you made of my Truffula Truft? There's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that everyone needs. It's a glove, it's a sock, it's a shoe, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You could use it for pillows, for curtains, for sheets, for carpets, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth that would buy that fool thneed. But just at that moment, I proved he is wrong. For right at that moment, a chap came along. He thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, said the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I raced across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. Put in a quick call. I called all my uncles and brothers and aunts and all. Said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at the Weehawken. Sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of Truffula Trees. Now, oh baby, oh how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. I quickly invented a super axe hacker, with whacked off 4 Truffula trees with one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. Snap. I am the Lorax who speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating Truffula fruits. But now, thanks to your chopping the trees to the ground, there's not enough Truffula fruits to be found. And my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he said as he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt bad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I truly did not. But I had to get bigger. So bigger I got. Biggered my factories. I biggered my roads. I biggered the wagons. I biggered the loads of the needs I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the west, to the south, to the east, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs. And I biggered my money, which everyone needs. And then he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax! He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled, he snargled, he sniffed. Onceler! He cried with a querulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup, also sloppity-slop. And what do you do with this leftover glue? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the hummingfish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. There, so I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary, in charge of some water that isn't so smeary. Then I got mad. I got frightfully mad. I said to the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say, bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more Truffula Trees into just needs, which everyone needs. That very moment, we heard a loud whack. From out in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. And we heard the tree fall. The very last Truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. And very soon, all my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye and got into my cars and drove off under the smog-smuggered stars. The only thing left beneath that foul-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget that sad look on his face as he heisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word: unless. Whatever that meant, I just couldn't guess. But that was long, long ago. And each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the words of the Lorax seem perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He let something fall. It's a Truffula seed, the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the Truffula seeds. And Truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new Truffula, treat it with care, feed it fresh water, give it clean air, grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. And the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
Well, that was the Lorax. What did you think? Unless someone like you